Hello, my name is Aaron Robinette, and this is my interview reflection video. I had the opportunity to interview Christy Russell. Christy is a counselor that I used to see. She was monumental in helping me find my way on so many levels. She helped me face some real demons in my life. Aside from my wife, Christy is actually one of the biggest cheerleaders in my life, encouraging me to pursue this career path. After the completion of my counseling with Christy, she and my wife and I have become close friends. And so that has been really neat to see how God has orchestrated that. Christy is a licensed clinical professional counselor, earning her master's degree from the University of Missouri St. Louis. The specific degree she earned is educational counseling. Christy owns her own practice named Christian Counseling for Women. She started her practice for women only, but eventually opened it to men and children after seeing the need that was out there. I asked Christy to describe her job duties. Christy has been a counselor for more than 20 years. Over the years, she has counseled many different people going through many different situations, all of which she has approached utilizing cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. Along with CBT, she stated there are three main areas to which she feels her duties or her practice have primarily focused on. First, counseling abused and neglected children or adults who were abused and neglected. She stated one of her favorite things is unlocking the inner childhood secrets. Another area of focus is counseling trauma victims and exploring how it affects the body, how it manifests itself through sickness, tics, habits, poor behaviors, or poor decisions. She also stated teaching boundaries has been a large focus of her practice as well. Teaching people that it's okay to guard yourself by placing clear boundaries around people and things that may harm you. The next question I asked Christy is, what do you find most fulfilling about working in the industry? Christy stated the most fulfilling thing that she has found about working in this industry is seeing people get to a place where they can live the productive life God has designed them to live. She also stated it is so rewarding to see someone come into her practice for the first time, broken and hopeless, finish a treatment plan that they agreed upon, leave months or even years after, thriving in a way that they never thought was possible. She stated that that is by far the most fulfilling and gratifying thing that she has experienced. The next thing I asked her was, what do you find most challenging about working in this industry? Christy actually laughed whenever I asked her this question, and she stated the most challenging thing is when people do not put in the work on their part, but yet they continue to show up week after week, bringing the same baggage and the same complaints with no change. She explained further that most of the time these people are usually the ones who were forced by a spouse in some kind of an ultimatum or forced by the state to enter into counseling. She also stated that you have to want to change for counseling to work well. The next question that I asked Christy is, what do you do to continue your professional growth in this field? Christy said the first thing, the most important thing for her is to remain faithful to the Lord and trust His discernment in the leadership of the Holy Spirit. Secondly, she stated that finding good continuing education classes are a good way of staying current with the latest studies and methods. Lastly, she said that some may laugh at her for saying this, but she feels at this point in her career, she has found watching and listening to podcasts or following YouTube channels, such as the Dr. John Deloney Show, helps her gain insight from other counselors. She stated these opportunities would have been a wonderful asset earlier on in her career. Finally, the last question that I asked Christy is, what recommendations do you have for a student pursuing a career in the field of psychology? Christy stated, always, always, always pray over yourself before every client. Pray that the Spirit would help you remove all selfish ambition, selfish thinking from each counseling session. Secondly, she stated, it is always important to charge what you think you are worth. You will never get respect from a client if you counsel for free. She currently is volunteering her time at a non-for-profit counseling center for the elderly. She said that she's noticed a big difference in the sessions where she does it with no charge versus sessions in her own company or her own practice where she charges for her time. I was really encouraged by this interview. Christy and I have a lot of similarities. Before she became a counselor, Christy was a pharmaceutical rep and didn't begin her master's program until she was in her mid-40s. She began counseling after she retired from her pharmaceutical rep career at the age of 50. It was really encouraging to see that someone has successfully pursued a career and accomplished her goals at the same stage of life that I am in. I also found it inspiring as she described her duties. She was very passionate about one, unlocking childhood secrets that can have a major impact on the way that we think and the way that we mentally process things as an adult. 2, paying attention to how our bodies respond to trauma. And 3, the importance of using boundaries and teaching people to implement boundaries. She also spoke about the importance of self-care, more specifically diet, exercise, and being aware of your own emotions and how that may affect the way that you counsel others. I also could get a feel of her passion as she described what she found to be the most fulfilling part of her work. I can only imagine how rewarding it must feel to have such a positive influence on someone's life. Overall, this interview has affirmed my desire to continue on this path to pursue a career in counseling. Here are some key takeaways that I found. Number 1, self-care. I have to remain vigilant in taking care of my own self, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. If I am unwell, I will not be able to put forth my full attention or effort in helping someone. Number 2, being open to broadening who I desire to work with. Currently, I have a strong desire to work with men, but I need to be open to work with whomever the Lord places in my path. And number 3, which lastly, we had a good conversation about how our environment affects our mental state. More specifically, we talked about what we eat, fast food or highly processed foods, and how it has an effect on our whole body's performance. This is something that I think is very important to look at and implement into my education as well as my career in the future. This interview has helped me think about my future career and what I hope it looks like. Thank you.